Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Real Talk. I'm your host, Saieed Ali, a spiritual consultant and real estate businessman. Remember, for those of you that are having spiritual problems, feel free to contact me. Those of you who have properties to sell or looking for a property to buy, you can feel free to contact me also. And if you lend your friend and your family hard-earned cash and they refuse to give you back your cash, please get in touch with Real Talk, that collection department, and they will be glad to assist you in any way possible. So now, viewers, we have our new YouTube link is up. Saieed Real Talk is a new link with the previous TT Real Talk. We were having some problems, technical problems, signing in, and we were blocked and all sorts of things. But we got our new link approved, Saieed Real Talk. You can log on to our page, Real Talk with Saieed Ali. Our new YouTube link is up there. You can subscribe to it from there and share it with your friends and families so we can reach millions of viewers throughout Trinidad and Tobago. So viewers, once more, we have our new YouTube link, Saieed Real Talk. Go on to our Facebook, Real Talk with Saieed Ali. Our link is up there on our page. Subscribe to it, and you would know when we go live, viewers. And I do apologize for those of you who could not see us on YouTube. Nevertheless, from tonight, you will be able to see us when we go live. As we start off tonight, viewers, we're starting off with WASA. I want to say a special good night to those of you that are locked on to Real Talk with Saieed Ali, live on Synergy TV right here in Trinidad and Tobago. Those of the Caribbean, around the globe, a special good night to you. So Public Utility Minister Marvin Gonzalez is describing the Water and Surge Authority's water truck service as an organized crime and corruption. Organized crime and corruption, he said. So, what about the people in isolated areas? The people who live in isolated areas. The people who live in areas where the councillors and the MPs only pass when time for election. When time for government election, when time for local election. What about those people living in those communities that do not have a pipe-borne water? That they don't see the ministers, they don't see the councillors, they don't see representative at all. When you would see them? Once every 3 years, once every 5 years. And why are you seeing them on that term? It's just to get, you see this 1 inch in your finger? The first 1 inch in your finger, is just to get it to dip in the ink and place next to their name to be elected. Now, Mr. Gonzalez, organized crime and corruption. Some of them, they don't have a bicycle, they don't have a wheelbarrow, they don't have a van, they do not have a car. And the only means of getting water to them is through a private water truck. And these people now will have to pay X amount of dollars, not for the water, you know, but for the transportation of the water. You call it an organized crime and corruption business. How often does WASA go to this community, the WASA trucks, and deliver water to these individuals? You see, before you make that statement, you're supposed to come out in the ground. I'm sure the Ministry of Water, they have some big Hilux and some big executive vehicles. They could go around in the community. You see, before you make statements, come out and see what is taking place in the ground. Come out. Do like the Commissioner of Police. He come out in the ground. He wants to know what is taking place in the ground. You see, you cannot sit down in your big, high, black chair in your luxurious office and say the water truck is an organized crime and corruption business. No, it have people who do not have transport, who WASA don't even go by. They don't even see the representative. But you call it an organized crime and corruption business. He now listen this. He vowed to pull out all levels of unethical and illegal misconduct within the authority. Let me tell you something, eh? Talk of the tongue now. It is alleged that all the businesses that the government running, they have some sort of scandal going on. All. It is alleged. Everything. Gonzalez was responding to a report of the Cabinet Subcommittee appointed to review the operation of WASA, which identified its water trucking service to be corruption-laced. The report found there was corruption among WASA truck drivers and contractors where unauthorized on-site payment are solicited and receipts are guaranteed for non-existent jobs. He also stated that some citizens are paying up to $1,500 for a tank of water. Now I could understand what you're saying there. Citizens paying up to $1,500 for water, and that is true in the real rural community then. That is what they're paying. $1,000, $1,200, $1,300. That is what they're paying. So if they get a scam in WASA, all well and good, but it comes down back. It comes down back to the rural community, the community. This is where it comes down back. The Cabinet Subcommittee also concluded that the public utility is too expensive to maintain, too dysfunctional to fix, and should be phased out by September 2023. Keep in mind, viewers, we have been hearing that WASA is overstaffed. Caller, good night.
Good night, Saeed. I'm glad you talk about WASA. No, there is banding around that union members, wives and husband and things have contract, right? People working inside it, family and wives have contract. No, let us look at the cabinet. Ain't a lot of them wives and things have contract to build the president house, to build husband, they have contract to build the Red House and things like that. They have Terence, the terrible wife, had a big contract, so what the vex about? I mean, you ever hear about a fella by the name of Anisette, a union man on the port, and he had a contract to do things? So, is this something to badger? Who started, which government started, and which WASA board started private delivery contractors for WASA? When that started under the PNM. So they can't come and knock those down private. I mean, they say they get out VI and somebody getting a kickback, the middleman, the 10%. So more importantly, them have, and I'll call it, a WASA KFC report, you know. Yes, see the cabinet appointed. Them fellas brighter than Fitzy boy, Fitzy, hear what Fitzy say. Them in other things that he didn't pick up. You mean Fitzy so dance? Because them fellas on that board here, special cabinet board, they are too bright for me, you know, because they are understanding what's going. And the former Ghanaian minister, Saieed Ali, who was a resident in Ghana and come back, he looked them up on the report. He said there is no need to dig wells. He said transmission is the problem, and he said they can't get a contract from the Salcott. If it wasn't the Salcott, all of we dead from COVID because they can't get water.
Thank you, my friend. Newly appointed Chief Executive of WASA, Chief Executive Officer of the Water and Sewerage Authority, WASA, Dr. Lennox Seals, have stated that he intends to make some key changes at the organization, even though he has a 3-year contract. Seal explained that the government made a decision on WASA future and entrusted him to start the process, calling his initiative WASA 2024. Dr. Seals explained that he won't just be taking the talk, he's prepared to invest. Dr. Seals stated that he will be given 5% of his salary into a fund and will also be asking WASA technical officers to help persons who are in need of water.
When I launch WASA 2024 today, I go back to my office. I'm sending out a second bulletin which will explain things. I'm going to tell everyone, and I'm seeing it now, I'm going to give 5% of my salary into a fund, and I'm going to ask our technical officers who are out there to identify people who need a tank or some kind of access to water, right? And I'm going to ask every employee who comes to work tomorrow if they can contribute $10 a month to that fund. And I'm positive a lot of people who are at the end of the pipeline and so on who have issues, I'm going to ask my technical officers to help them get water. So I want to put my mouth and money in the same place.
He further stated that the transformation can also mean changes in the way citizens are charged for water use. Now, he has a good plan. He has a good plan. He is saying something solid. But, how many employees, how many technical officers will contribute that $10? And the thing is, why? Why is WASA employees and technical officers contributing to a GoFund WASA program for citizens to get more water when that belongs to the state? Mismanagement, overstaffed. Whose family is in high position and pull them in, and pull in the friends, and pull in the family, and pull in the neighbor, and pull in the grandchildren, and pull in the great-great-grandchildren. Even the great-great-great-grandchildren and all inside. Who is the people behind these things? Who is the people behind these things? Feel free to call in 238-6716. WASA is the topic tonight. Apart from WASA, we have food increase. But tonight, viewers, we have on the line tonight Minister Clarence Rambarat. Good night, sir.
Hi, good night, Saeed. Good night, Trinidad and Tobago. How are you doing?
I am okay, and thank you for taking the time out to join with us. For a very long time, I have been trying to get through with you, but nevertheless, we are on with you tonight on a live phone interview. So, Mr. Rambarat, I have 3 questions for you tonight, right?
Sure.
Now, first question is, what are your thoughts given the current foreign exchange shortage?
Well, we've had some issues for a couple of years now, Saeed. We needed to access the foreign exchange. And even farmers have to access foreign exchange in order to buy things that they import. So the farmers depend on the banks to be able to provide them. And they are challenges. And so far they've been managing. But as the supply, of course, as they have increased challenges with the supply, we have to monitor it. I have to keep in touch with my colleagues, the Minister of Trade and the Minister of Finance, to make sure we could provide relief where we could.
Now, Mr. Clarence, concerning the forex shortage, right, coming to agriculture, right, do you think it would have a big impact on the importation of chemicals due to the forex shortage to grow the fruits and the vegetables that we need presently in Trinidad? And what are some of the plans that your ministry would put in place to, let's say, to solve this problem?
Well, as I say, once you have things that have to be paid in U.S. currency, in chemicals that are manufactured abroad, once you have challenges in accessing the exchange, you'll find that you have delays in things being shipped, and you have challenges. So far, I have not heard from the importers that they've had significant challenges. I think from what I see in the shop, they have the stocks. From what I know of the farmers, they have they have been able to access it. And as I say, if we do in fact see problems, since the start of COVID, we've had a committee that deals with the supermarkets and deals with the importers in terms of the issues of the port, issues that the Minister of Trade to deal with. If there is need for intervention, the government will make the appropriate intervention. But so far, I've not seen a crisis. I've seen things we've been able to manage so far.
Okay. Now, Mr. Rambert, I do want to thank you for joining with us tonight. I want to have you is either Thursday night or Friday night on another interview for some other questions that would benefit Trinidad and Tobago. So I do want to thank you for taking the time to join us.
Of course, I apologize. I don't know. I don't see any response from you, but I must apologize if you try to reach me. And as you know, you can always send me a WhatsApp as you did today to let me know that you'll be contacting me, and I'll make myself available.
Not a problem. Thank you again, Mr. Rambarat, for joining us. So, viewers, that was the Minister on the line, Mr. Clarence Rambarat, concerning agriculture and the shortage with chemicals. So, he says his ministries have, so far, they are not getting any report of any shortage, but I'm sure he have some sort of something in place for when that time reach. Food shortage. Food shortage, or food price increase, I should say. MP for Mayaro, Rushton Parry, stated that Trinidad and Tobago current foreign exchange shortage now requires critical attention by the government. Parry stated that some of the solutions were to be found in a reduced food import bill. Now, I want to hear from you viewers. It's Mashup Monday tonight. Tonight, I tried to get Mr. Rajiv Dipti, the president of the Supermarket Association. He was supposed to be live with us, but nevertheless, he had some meeting to attend, so I will try to get him tomorrow night concerning the food increase and the groceries. Now, Parry, Rushton Parry, he noted that the worsening forex shortage will cost Trinidadians more to put food on their table. Parry also stated that the quality of life for every Trinidadian was becoming worse every month as a result of shortage of U.S. currency. He added that the lack of foreign exchange have led to a thriving black market which is absorbing a sizable amount of foreign exchange. Foreign currency is almost $8, $9 to 1 US. Some places have already begun paying $9 US. $9 TT for 1 US. Caller, good night.
Good night. I want to mash up the Minister of Agriculture like he living in Guav. Because I'm going to tell you, I am an importer and in the agricultural sector, and side we catching with nenen to get US. In addition to that side, you have tax on herbicides.
Yes.
Herbicides under 6 liters. You have to pay an import duty at 20%. In addition to that side, you have a container coming in. The tariff have on it no taxes or fertilizer, but yet, before you could clear the container, you have to go to the Minister of Agriculture to get a duty-free concession, which makes no sense. I want to mash up that man tonight. Have a good night, side.
So wait, hold on, caller.
Here.
So some of the things that he just said is not corresponding with what they have.
It is not true. Side, we are under pressure. We're not getting US. What is seen on the shelf? I bring in stuff from India, from China. You're not getting the US currency. You have to beg the bank. You have to buy it on the outside. And when you buy it on the outside, you're catching a sale to put it inside in the bank. So that minister, he living in Guav. He had me so upset here tonight, side.
Wow.
I want to mash him up.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you for calling in and letting us know what is actually taking place. See viewers, where do you get this stuff? Only on Real Talk. You're hearing from the ministers, we're hearing from consumers, we're hearing from the public. Feel free to call in because we're dealing with a real issue. Hey, let me tell you something. When we hear from the president of the Supermarket Association, hopefully tomorrow night, then we will actually know what is taking place in our country. Because I had 2 interviews lined up back to back with Clarence Shambara, the Minister of Agriculture, and Mr. Rajiv Dipti, the president of the Supermarket Association in Trinidad and Tobago. But he called last minute and said he had to go to a meeting. But nevertheless, we're going to have him tomorrow night and we're going to hear what he has to say. Now, back to Rushton Parry. He stated that the limited forex may lead to supermarket being forced to reduce the amount of their import to match the availability of foreign currency. Parry further stated that a recent survey by the business community showed that a number of small manufacturers were closing because of the shortage, which means more workers were going on the breadline. I will try to get Rushton Parry on an interview tomorrow. Watch me, we're going to do things different now, you know. I tell you, we're doing things different now. We're calling them out. Because the citizen cannot put a minister there and you just sitting down there and we going haywire. There's not that again. It's not that again. Not on Real Talk because we're doing things different. Now that we established, now that we became the #1 current affairs program, now that we became the 3rd best news forecast in Trinidad and Tobago, we're looking to go up the ladder. And viewers, hear this. Tell your friends and your family when they go to work, when they're traveling in the car, tell them about Real Talk with Saieed Ali. Like and share our Facebook page. Well, we recently got our new link with YouTube. Like and share. Let people understand that Real Talk with Saieed Ali is the #1 current affairs where we deal with the real issue. Caller, good night.
Good evening, Mr. Said.
My friend, go right ahead.
Said, everything that is happening and taking place in this country right now is as a direct relation to poor governance by this government. They don't have no vision. They don't have no way of creating any sort of economic growth in this country for the last 6 years. We have declined so way far backwards in this country from where we were projected. From the last, they just always look to blame the last government, but the direction that government was taking this country to where this government is taking us now is in a total different direction. And if these people had any sort of imagination or any way of developing and creating anything in this country, Trinidad we wouldn't be having all this problem. And you know the bad thing about this? Nobody. You see all the groups that was dragging mannequin throughout the streets and in Port of Spain? Where are these people? They're silent. They're only looking for things that they could have gained, Roger and them, for their personal gains. You don't hear them now. And they're looking for the opposition to fix what's in the country right now. We didn't vote for opposition. We voted for a government to do and fix and better the country.
Correct.
They are failing. The population ain't calling for them to resign and call for election. They're calling for the opposition to come and help fix what is going on. Some people mad in this country. Something had to be wrong. Let me tell you something. In the morning, they could fix that water problem and bring water to a profit. If they start from the east-west corridor and every single household that is stealing water, they make them pay. All them HEC buildings where hundreds of people is living and they're paying one water rate instead of each pay a different water rate. And you also easy water will become a profitable entity. But they would not do that because that would affect water bank. You understand? Instead, the poor, hard-working, innocent people is the ones who will be paying to subsidize these people for thieving water and living free as usual. Have a good night, Mr. Said.
Thank you, my friend. Well said. Well said. Hey, all I feel is mash up Monday and joke. Here it is. Ansa Makal has announced that it would offer COVID-19 vaccine freely freely to all 6,000 of its employees and their families once the vaccine become available. Once it become available, Answer McCall is going to give vaccine freely to all its 6,000 employees and their family. In a release on Friday, the company stated that the private sector has a part to play in support of the government's measures of getting the COVID-19 vaccine shot in the arms of every citizen who wants it. So here it is. Answer McCall, not bad talking them, but they decided to give their 6,000 employees and their family. The company encouraged others in the private sector to follow suit. The group also noted that it intends to partner with government ministries of health in the territories in which it operates. Meanwhile, Minister of Health Terence Diasin confirmed that any private entity can purchase COVID-19 vaccine.
The private sector has in fact been reaching out to us, but we will only be using vaccines which government purchases for members of the public. What the article says, if you read it closely, is that this particular entity, and they are to be applauded, will purchase vaccines from the private sector. Now let me explain what is going to happen. At some point in time, I can't say when, the COVID-19 vaccines is going to become a commodity, is going to become commoditized. And like any other vaccine, I know people are focused on COVID-19 vaccines, thinking that we are doing this for the first time. Every single vaccine in Trinidad and Tobago right now, MMR, whatever, is available free through the public sector, and you could pay for it through the private sector. The same thing will happen with COVID-19 vaccines eventually. So any private entity, once the vaccine is registered through a local agent, any private entity can purchase the vaccines for their employees.
So viewers, is that a money-making business? I just want to ask a question. Is it a money-making business? Not too long ago, the Prime Minister up and said that there are people who is selling the vaccine, but they want to make a pong and a crong on the vaccine. Remember that happened someday last week? They are raising the price on the vaccine. Keep in mind, how much vaccine we getting? About 150 or 160 vaccine thousand. We have 108,000 vaccine will come into Trinidad shortly. We got 2,000 vaccine that was donated from Barbados to Trinidad and Tobago, and it caused a big bacchanal with the Ministry of Health. We have 108,000 vaccine coming into Trinidad shortly. It's coming in shortly coming in. Right? They want to sell it now? Not too long, the Prime Minister was saying that vaccine, that they're raising the figures and they want to sell us it. So this 108 are coming in. You now hear the minister say the private sector could purchase it once it registers from them and give unto the employees. Is it a money-making business? This is what I want to ask. He further noted that no private entity can make it mandatory for persons to get vaccinated.
Whether a private entity can make it mandatory? No. No private entity or the government can make it mandatory that persons be vaccinated. Vaccinations, as we have always said on these platforms, continues to be voluntary, but it is highly, highly recommended.
He want to bust out a laugh, You say we bust one in the video before? So let me tell you something. 1 minute, that same minister say, don't wear a mask. Wear a mask, because it could save your life. They went to parliament. In a couple days' time, they bring out an amendment. If you don't wear your mask, you're paying $1,000. No, that was to do what? That was to conquer the COVID-19 virus. No, they're saying no. The government cannot make it mandatory for an individual to get vaccinated. Well, then why the hell are they charging them $1,000 for a mask? Why the hell are they doing that? Let me tell you something. All they're making all themselves look like clowns. All you're making all themselves look like a Friday and a Saturday clown in a circus. What is the purpose of the mask? To prevent the spread of COVID-19. Why are we taking the shots again? To prevent the spread of COVID-19. You make it mandatory. You made it mandatory to wear a mask. You made it mandatory if we don't wear a mask, we pay $1,000. But you, Mr. Minister, you cannot make it mandatory for every citizen of Trinidad and Tobago to get vaccinated. Let me tell you something. You see what you say there? You see what you say there? To me, it's a money-making business. It's a money-making business. You're charging $1,000 to wear a mask to prevent COVID-19, but you cannot make it mandatory for every citizen to get the COVID-19 vaccine to stop the spread of it. Let me tell you something. All you're making all yourself look like a clown in a circus on a Friday or a Saturday night show. Minister of Health Terrence Singh have stated that the COVAX facility has approved 100,000 by 800. So 108,000 Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine. He made the announcement at a virtual meeting on Saturday.
I could announce that the first tranche has been approved through the COVAX facility that will be received in Trinidad, and the exact number is 100,800 doses. So our first tranche has been confirmed, 100,000 plus 800 doses.
So now my question to the minister now and to the public: how many private entities are going to buy that vaccine for their employees now? Is it for the public or is it for sale? This is what we want to know. Because you just heard that the minister said that any private entity could purchase the COVID vaccine once it is registered. Registered with who? With the government. Not registered with Grenada, not registered with Barbados, not registered with Guyana, but registered with the government of Trinidad and Tobago. Am I making sense? If I am making sense, tell me. So here it is. Health Minister said that the 100,800 vaccine costs a total of $504,000, which includes the actual cost of the vaccine and shipping insurance and all associated costs. Listen to this.
Then we have to get the cost estimate on vaccine allocation. I can now tell you with certainty what the cost is. The cost for this initial 100,000 plus 800 doses is US $504,000. So US $504,000, which includes the actual cost of the vaccine, which is roughly about $4 US, shipping, insurance, and all associated costs.
So you hear that, viewers? $504,000. Is this 100,800 vaccine, is it to the public Are they going to vaccinate the public freely with it? Or does a private entity have to pay for a vaccine for their employee? Ansa McCall is going to give the vaccine freely to 6,000 of its employees and their families. Is Ansa McCall purchasing the vaccine? Or is he getting it freely from the government to give her the employees and families? It's just a question I'm asking. It's just a question I'm asking based on what the minister is saying. However, he noted that Trinidad and Tobago will not be paying $504,000 US. They also stated that TT will be receiving $164,338 US dollars from CAFA towards the purchase of the vaccine. Only 160,000, eh? Only 160,000, while the government is paying 104,000 US. Now this means that the government, and by extension taxpayers, will be paying for the vaccine. The first tranche is $343,162 in US.
But in the first instance, Trinidad and Tobago will not be paying $504,000. Why? Because CAFA has a grant, I believe, out of the European Union where they can assist countries that fall under CAFA's remit, and Trinidad and Tobago will be receiving from CAFA US $160,838 towards the purchase of vaccines. So you
hear that, viewers? That is what CAFA will be giving them. 160,000 and some odd dollars US. But the thing is, I want to know, the government bought this for citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. So I want to know now if citizens have to pay for the vaccine, if private entities will have to pay for it. Is Ansa McCall purchasing 6,000 plus COVID-19 vaccine? I am not bad talking, Ansa McCall. They have a great company. I have friends who bought cars from their companies. I service my Ford Ranger in Ansa McCall. But the thing is, are they going to pay for the vaccine for the 6,000 plus employees and their family? This is a big question. Caller, good night.
Say good night. Say, to answer your question, this is a money-making thing because COVAX was developed by the World Health Organization to deal with the situation where when it had the outbreak of the Ebola, they had all these wealthy nations were grabbing up all the vaccines, right? So the World Health Organization came about this COVAX thing, so they more or less is to facilitate all the poor countries, right? So this is why we end up on this COVAX, because I'm sure if you can recall, the Prime Minister said we are waiting on COVAX to send vaccine to us here, and it will be the AstraZeneca vaccine that we will be issued on it. So at the end of the day, it is a money-making thing because I don't know exactly how much vaccine they will be issued from the COVAX, right? And when we get it here, we're not getting the entire amount of vaccines to equivalent to the population of this country. So somebody within the private institutions going to be buying these vaccines on them and bringing it here. And you know how Trinidadans are, especially the wealthy ones, we like to show off. So I would put men in a block. It's done in the pipeline already that they're making arrangements for some private institutions to buy vaccines for the citizens have to buy. But on the real way, starting the program on side, WASA. So have you realized since the leading water bottling company in Trinidad and Tobago came into existence, the standard and the quality of water throughout the country, the service, everything just went haywire.
Haywire, correct.
They just haywire. How it is tied, rain this fall, flood all over Trinidad and Tobago, but yet still the nation's reservoirs, they never get flooded out.
Thank you, my friend.
Right.
Well said.
Said, right?
Well said. I feel we got a call drop there. Somewhere along the line we got a call drop. My friend, I do apologize, but it was not on our behalf. The line probably dropped somewhere. So here is Mash Up Monday tonight. It's Mash Up Monday from Wassa to the sale of COVID-19. Here it is. Opposition leader Kamala Prasad Bisesa have written to India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi asking for a gift of AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine for Trinidad and Tobago. Did the opposition leader do something wrong? Hold on. Hold on till you see 2386716. Let me hear what you have to say. In her letter, she noted that while this country received a donation of 2,000 vaccines from Barbados, our population is close to 1.3 million people. And we are faced with COVID-19 challenges. Meanwhile, Minister of Health Terence Dayal Singh stated that the Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Rowley, has already written to Modi about the purchase of vaccine for TNT. However, on February 22nd, India High Commissioner Arun Kumar Sahu noted that at that time, TT government had not yet made a purchase order and commercial agreement for vaccine from India from the Institute of Serum. At that time, they did not. So, my friend, what I want to know tonight is obvious they're going to bash. They're going to bash the opposition leader for writing to Modi. But she asked that India donated COVID-19 to Trinidad. She asked for a gift. If we get 1,000, if we get 2,000, if we get 250,000 vaccine as a gift to Trinidad government, it would be nice. But then she wasn't acting on behalf of the government. She was acting on behalf of the opposition leader and asking for a gift. A gift of the vaccine to Trinidad and Tobago. In my book, she didn't do anything wrong. She didn't do anything wrong because our health ministry is asking to purchase. They were asking to purchase. So that is the difference. She asking for a gift for the citizens, while the government is asking for a purchase of the COVID-19 vaccine. Caller, good night. Short and sweet.
Good night, Ali. Saeed.
Yes, my dear.
Yeah, I'm calling from Barbados.
Barbados, welcome.
Yes, please. I listen to your show every night. Every night.
Thank you.
And the vaccine here, we don't have to pay for it. The vaccine here is free. And almost quarter of Barbados have already get their vaccine.
Okay.
So I just called to let you know. And we have one of the best prime minister. One of the best prime minister in the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Barbados, for calling in and clarifying that. Thank you so much. So viewers, we locked on in the Caribbean. So just imagine the opposition leader asking for a gift from India, while our health ministry asking to purchase it. On the other hand of it now, they get 100,000 by 800 AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine. And the shot in it now is that companies, private sector could purchase it from where? From where, Trinidad and Tobago? Where are you going to purchase the AstraZeneca vaccine? From the government. So the government used now $504,000 US to purchase the vaccine. Now they want to sell it back to the citizens while they're taking our tax money to pay for it. Let me tell you something. Hello, what PNM? Take it and all your tail. I'm not for UNC. I not for PNM, I not for ILP, I not for whatever party. I, Saieed Ali, represent the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. I do not represent a political party. No political party is funding Real Talk, and I'm proud to say that. I'm proud to say that. That is why I could come here now. I could come here on my show and hit a hammer on the left-hand side and hit a hammer on the right-hand side. I could hit a hammer on the UNC, I could hit a hammer on the PNM, I could hit a hammer on ILP. You know why? I'm representing Trinidad and Tobago on a bigger scale than you think. Just imagine countries scrambling to get COVID-19 vaccine. And the government of Trinidad and Tobago is telling us, the private sector, that you could purchase it. You could purchase it for your workers, or for your friends, or for your family. The private sector. But who do we purchase it from? Only if it is registered. Registered where? By the government of Trinidad and Tobago. So we know, the private sector, have to buy something from the government, which we're supposed to be getting free, while our taxpaying money paying for it. You like that? We like it. We like it so. Hear this now, hear that. All of A is Mashup Monday. Minister of Finance Colin Imbut and South Oropouche MP Rudal Munilal were asked to apologize to each other after a heated exchange of words during a sit-in. Here it is. The conflict began when Munilal referred to a statement made by Imbut in September 2019, in which he claims that only a PNM government could give workers a refinery to operate. Listen this. Here's where the bacchanal start. We have time? We have time. Imbut objected to Munilal's remarks, to which Munilal withdrew his remarks. Listen this.
Madam Speaker, September 2019, in the build-up to the general election, came and gave us an outline of the findings of all the committees and indicated that the best, the government choice of the preferred bidder is indeed Patriotic Energies and Technologies Company Limited. And he boasted on that day, he beat the table. Madam Speaker, the parliamentary carpenter had to come and fix the table when he was finished. He said it's only a PNM government could give workers a refinery to run. It's only the PNM government can give business to a trade union, and raised his voice with a crescendo that this was a great task of the minister. What standing order? What the hell you think he is to tell? Madam Speaker, I withdraw that. I withdraw that. I withdraw that. I withdraw that.
Bacchanal, it now getting heated. However, the House Speaker, Anissa George, called on both Munilal and Imbut to check their tone and language during their contribution.
All right? So, Minister of Finance, you will apologize for, just losing control there by blurting out. And also, I would, so stand up so I can, and apologize, and then.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I apologize for telling the member to sit down.
And I tell you, the House heated these days, Imbut also raised a standing order 48-1, stating that the matter did not concern him as the motion was against Franklin Khan.
48-1, this is a motion of no confidence in the Minister of Energy. It is not anything to do with me. And therefore 48-1, Madam Speaker.
Okay. Thank you.
The matter deals with the refinery, which is a key asset in the energy sector. The government of Trinidad and Tobago has taken a decision. It was communicated by not the Minister of Energy, it was communicated by the Minister of Finance. And the government attempted in this manner to indicate that a preferred bidder was the company associated with the workers. We predicted that their proposal will be in the dustbin. Today, they have turned the procurement process for this refinery into all mass.
Now, viewers, someone Someone was then heard saying, Massa Day is done. As Imbert responded, you hush. The House Speaker further gave instruction for the House to remain calm.
And I can't tell him to sit down because he will rule me out of order. He's disrespectful.
So, member for Urupuch East, the Minister of Finance has stood up on a point of order.
48, you hush. 48-1.
No. It is either Minister of Finance, I'm on my legs. Member for Urupuch East. It's all right. It's not all right to say it and then apologize. I think you know better. Okay? And I'm going to ask everybody, including the person who's talking about Massa Day done, and including the member for Laventille West who's speaking while I'm on my legs. I will ask all members to please observe the standing orders and maintain their calm.
Now, viewers, while them having tit for tat there, who was the minister more concerned about the sale of the refinery? Who was the minister? Not Colin Imbert? Not Colin Imbert coming out and making all these statements? About who they're giving it to, what offer they get, how much they're rejected. I saw Imbert in the front of everything. So this is to let you know. Now, while them having tit for tat there, we moved on to Franklin Khan. Khan stated that when the PNM returned to office in 2015, there was a decline in production of both oil and gas. He noted that outstanding negotiation between NGC upstream and downstream gas contractor led to a major claim in the sum of $750 million US. However, Khan stated that he managed to reduce those claims to $365 million.
When the PNM returned to office in 2015, the industry was saddled with some major challenges. A continuum. There was declining production in both oil and gas, but this was driven largely by low levels of upstream investment. There were outstanding contract negotiations between the NGC, upstream suppliers, and downstream gas contracts. The latter led to major claims on the NGC to the tune of $750 million US. Under this administration, we have reduced those claims to a mere $363 million US.
So you see, viewers, while everybody playing tit for tat, over 5,000 workers lose their jobs. Call a good night.
Say good night.
Go right ahead.
Say, no time limited. Say, at the end of the day, the People's National Movement don't give a rat's thing about Trinidad and Tobago. The country's main source of foreign resources, which happens to be petroleum, they close it down.
Yes, correct.
Understand? They run and they close it down. Right now, they have no idea. All they can do is track the population, run into the Heritage and Stabilization Fund and take out money, tax, and lie to the population. That's all the PLM could do in this side. Understand? Right now, WASA is just a distraction.
Yep.
WASA is a distraction because we all know the People's National Movement give. I could call anybody company.
Nah. Next thing send me a letter. But I know we're talking about.
This is the view of the caller. I'm not a real talk. Neither side program. Do apologize. Right side, but as I'm saying, understand, the PNM don't care about nobody. They just gone as though they interested about the citizens. They don't care about us. They don't care about us at all. We just had us like crab in a barrel, fight. This year you're talking
that's
about
true.
Kamala. Till I listen to a whole heap of different people chastising Kamala but why she do that and why she does. At the end of the day, I don't care the opposition leader, I don't care the Prime Minister, I don't care if you and all call the Indian Prime Minister and ask him for vaccine. I'm glad because at the end of the day, you're trying to get vaccine to help your citizens in the country. Understand? I tell you something is wrong with you and this is what the PM must push. This agenda that has pushed pure propaganda and lies. But fire burn the PNM side, the program is the best. You're not told and nothing, right you. Thank you, Saieed.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you for your comments. You see, we facing is reality we facing. Just now, flour is 20, how much flour? And Nepal flour, $60 a bag. When you hear flour go up to $100 a bag, what will happen? We are still waiting on Franklin can, on LPG 20-pound cylinder. Hey, let me tell you something. Viewers, we are out of time for tonight, but nevertheless, it's another night tomorrow. So until, remember, our YouTube stream is up. Saieed Real Talk. Go onto our page, Real Talk with Saieed Ali Facebook page. Like the link, click on it, subscribe, and you will know when we go live. So until then, viewers, be safe and enjoy the night.